There's a saying I was told as a kid that bullshit baffles brains. And it's a true thing. I mean, you've only got to hear some of the most stupid people that use big words and they think they're intelligent. And some people who listen to those words end up thinking they're intelligent. Well, the press is no different. Politics is no different. And when you mix the two and the army, you have yourself a little story there. Now, anybody who's truly worried about this country, worried about the future direction of this country and worrying about the impact of this massive influx of these fighting age men coming over the channel, will probably be concerned and want to hear, say, for instance, a Home Secretary, the Prime Minister, or somebody come up with some brave new idea of how they're going to stop this. And we would be encouraged if they did. Well, here's the latest one. But bearing in mind, as we go through this, I'll let you into a few secrets that I've found out over the time, right? So, not secrets, it's just knowledge, really. Army officer takes charge of command, launched in bid to tackle channel crossings. Well, that sounds optimistic, doesn't it, right? Major General Duncan Capps will take on the role as clandestine channel threat commander. All sounds very good, doesn't it? All big words. And it makes you, and it's got a picture, obviously, of the little cherubs that have been rescued by the taxi service. Sorry, the RNLI. I keep getting those two confused because they're very similar. Used to be one of the most respected things in the world. And I mean, I did a lot of history on things that the RNLI did. I mean, take, for instance, down in Cornwall, there was a Penley lifeboat disaster. All of those men were heroes, utter heroes. They could have pulled away, but they went in for another attempt to try and rescue the people that were on the stricken coaster. Long story short, everybody perished. Horrible. So anyway, back in those days, they were really, really good men. So at the moment, they said a senior retired army officer to take charge of the government's new unit being launched in a bid to crack down on channel crossings. This, yet again, still sounds optimistic. Major General Capps, a former head of Army Training College at Sandhurst. Right, this is where it starts to go wrong. Do you remember it was Sandhurst that started pushing this diversity quotas and the new words that you've got to say in inclusivity and how you've got to be all on board with all the trans stuff and everything else? And not to mention, there would have been Sandhurst that they would have pummeled with common purpose. Now, if you don't know about common purpose, look into it. It is interesting, but it's a way that they put people into positions that are higher up, that through back channels, through nefarious means, direct whatever it is that they're in to an agenda that they want to push it in. So they don't do it through democratic means. They don't do it through voting. They don't do it through sitting around a table and working out what's best. They do it through back channels, and it is common purposes in our schools, in our police force, in the army, everything at the moment. And it is pushing for this wokeism. It's pushing for this new agenda. It's pushing for diversity quotas, open borders, all of that stuff. And it really wants to ruin the fabric of our society. That's its agenda. And common purpose, you could trace it back to, say, for instance, a form of Marxism. But anyway, let's just get back to this rubbish and see how much more flannel they can push. Clandestine threat commander, former Daniel Maloney, who's standing down after 2 years, is understood. Considered by officials to be an extremely experienced leader, Mr. Capps, who retired as an army officer this month, will head up a small boats operation command. All sounds very good. Unveiled by the Prime Minister earlier this week as a raft of new measures in a bid to grip the migrant crisis. Now, I read down through and I thought, the Permanent Unified Unit will bring together military and civilian staff alongside the National Crime Agency to coordinate intelligence, interception, processing, and enforcement. This is what Rishi Sunak told us. I thought to myself, they could have done this at any time. And, excuse me a sec, and they haven't. Now, I thought, if you put your tinfoil hat on, what would you come up with, Rev? And I thought, can you imagine if they actually put undercover officers on all of the prone beaches that these people are more likely to land on? Oh, that'd be good. That's a possibility. But bearing in mind, we can't now go down to Dover and get close. They stopped that. So we can't video the real true numbers of the people that are coming in. All right, we can't get close like me and Based used to, and many others. Active Patriot, Steve Laws, all the others, they were all down there videoing this to let you know. And it's because of those people that you then get the likes of Farage come on board and say, I'm the first to talk about this. No, you weren't. No, you weren't at all, right? There's been people been talking about this right back to the BNP who were pointing stuff like this out. But anyway, so what could these people be doing? I mean, bearing in mind that you can't even fly a drone now around Dover, which would have been an easier way to get the footage. Nope, no fly zone there. I thought, what if they're actually going to be down there and actively stopping people reporting, because they're not actually going to fix this problem. They just want to pretend that they fixed it, so they'll need to stop people getting any evidence of these people crossing so they can say they're doing a great job while still filling every hotel going. I think they're running out of hotels now, and any hotel that doesn't want to be turned into a migrant home ends up being financially destroyed by the local government. So that's another thing. And now they think they're putting them into holiday camps. I should imagine the blue coats or the red coats or whatever they are now will love that, won't they? Entertaining that little lot, but there it is. I'm just being sarcastic. But this is nothing but rubbish. They will do nothing because it's a globalist agenda that they want to flood this country. They want to destroy us, right? And they're going to use mass immigration and everybody fighting each other to do so. And then when they do, they'll go ahead with the next part of their plan, but that's further on down the road. But anybody who can't see that this is a purposeful thing being done, that this is to bring about problems within our society, is blind or disingenuous. And even people on the left now are starting to see it for what it is, which is amazing, really, because so many of those people just want to look like do-gooders, and they're really fearful of looking bad in front of their friends in case they get cast out of their little group of woke, do-gooding, actually do-badders. But there you are. That's what I think. Keep your eye on this. But I'm telling you now, nothing good will come from this because it can't succeed. What they'll do is they'll just say that we've got the right people out there, we're doing our best, but reasons here and reasons there, and we will do better. And then in 2 years down the road, they'll get somebody else in, and he'll make all the difference. And then 2 years' time, he'll make all the difference. It's a bit like we get a new government in every 5 years. So the government that was in, well, we usually do, but we've had Conservatives in for a while. But what you usually do is they'll make such an absolute rubbish out of it that then the opposition stand up and say, all of our problems date back to the last government. And they go on for 5 years blaming the last government until the next government takes over and then blames them. And then we fall for it. And this is how politics works. Lie, 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 lie. Bullshit baffles brains. Anyway, I hope you're liking the content, and lots more to come. So I'll get on to do the next one. I'll speak to you in a bit.